Hello everyone, this is yoga practice class number 7. This is Padmasana. This will be a video on Padmasana, which is the lotus pose. The lotus pose is one of the most popular poses in yoga. It was made extremely famous by the Lord Gautam Buddha, who used to meditate in this posture. And also, this posture is very popular because this is the main posture that is used for meditation. However, what people don't know is there are a few minor details about this posture, which is unknown to the normal public. So that's the reason why I've made this video, to talk about the small details about this posture and also how you're supposed to go about practicing and making your body flexible enough to sit in this posture comfortably. So this is how you sit in Padmasana. As you can see, the right heel is touching the left thigh joint and the left heel is touching the right thigh joint, and both the knees are touching the floor. The back is straight. The perineum, which is the region between the anal outlet and the genitals, that is falling flat on the floor. So that will make sure that the posture is as stable as possible. And then you place your hands in something known as Padma mudra, which is the symbol of the lotus, with the left wrist joint, the right wrist joint falling on the left wrist joint. This is the Padma mudra. This will keep the hands relaxed and it will keep the shoulders properly balanced. And in this position, the whole body remains stable. As you can see, this is a very popular pose. You must have seen this posture many a times. You must have seen Gautam Buddha sitting in this posture, in the images of Gautam Buddha. So, but then there is a slight difference. I will be speaking about those minor details about this posture. But before that, let me look at certain preparatory practices that you can do in order to become flexible enough to sit in this posture. So the first preparatory practice would be, you keep the left leg straight and then you fold the right leg and you twist the ankle joint inwards and upwards so that the right heel touches the center of the left thigh joint, like this. And then you place the right palm on the right knee and make the knee go up and down like this, and try to bring the knee close to the floor. You can touch the floor with the right knee. Do this 30 to 40 times depending upon how flexible or unfit you are. Now, I don't have to do any of these preparatory practices as my body is permanently flexible enough to directly sit in Padmasana, but depending upon how fit or flexible you are, you'll have to do all of these. Then next you hold the big toe with the left hand and you place the right palm below the knee, breathe out and bring it close to the chest, and then breathe in, bring the knee down to the floor like this. Again, do this 20 to 30 times depending upon how flexible you are. The next thing that you do is you place the right heel on the inner side of the elbow joint, left elbow joint, and you hold the shin with your forearm, left forearm, and then you place the right forearm under the shin as well, and you hold the right wrist with the left palm. You hold the entire shin like a baby and then you start rocking it right and left like this, keeping the shin parallel to the floor. Keep rocking it. This will open up the hip joint. Do this again 30 to 40 times depending upon how flexible you are. Keep the spine straight when you rock it like this. This will completely open up the right hip joint. Again, this is yoga practice class number 7, so I'm assuming that you have gone through all the practices from class number 1 to class number 6, because those practices will really help you get to the stage where you are able to uh, comfortably sit in Padmasana. Then next you place the heel on the left thigh joint again. You keep the spine straight, bring the right knee close to the floor, and then stretch your hands up, breathe in, and then stretch down. Try to bring the forehead close to the left knee. Try to touch the forehead to the left knee. So then we do the same thing on the other side. Do the same thing with the left leg. Twist the ankle upwards and inwards using the hands, and then bring the left heel on the center of the right thigh joint. The right, then you move the left knee up and down like this using the left palm. Try to touch the floor with the left knee. The right leg will remain straight, the foot will also be straight, and the spine is straight. Again, do this 30 to 40 times depending upon how flexible you are, depending upon the level of warm-up that your body needs before it can sit in the lotus pose. Again, you follow this up by holding the big toe with the right hand, then placing the left palm below the knee. You breathe out and bring the knee close to the chest, and then breathe in, press the knee close to the floor. Again, do this 30 to 40 times. You can again follow this up with the same things, placing the foot on the inner side of the right elbow joint. This time the right forearm is under the shin, and you take the left forearm under the right forearm. Hold the right wrist with the left palm, and then rock the shin like a baby, right and left, keeping the shin parallel to the floor. This will open up the left hip joint this time. Do this 20 to 30 times, 30 to 40 times, depending upon the level of warm-up that your legs need. Keep the spine straight when you twist it like this. Again, you place the left heel on the center of the right thigh joint. Your back is straight, stretch out, breathe in, and then stretch down, breathe out. Try to bring the forehead to the knee. This completes a full set for both the legs. Now we bring both the heels and both the feet together like this, and we interlock the fingers and hold both the feet together. And now we move both the knees up and down and try to bring both the knees close to the floor. Try to touch the floor with both the knees, keeping the spine straight and holding both the feet together with your interlocked fingers. You can pull the heels as close to the perineum as possible. This is the dynamic version of a very good meditation posture known as Vajrasan. It's also known as the butterfly pose, since you're flapping the knees like the wings of a butterfly. This will again open up the hip joints. You will literally feel a lot of strain near the hip joints when you do this. Try to touch the floor with the knees. This is the dynamic version. There is also a static version of this, wherein you simply maintain the position. You basically interlock the fingers and hold both the feet together, and you keep the spine straight, and you simply try to bring the knees closer and closer to the floor. This will make you feel a nice stretch near the thigh near the inner thighs and near the thigh joints. You can then even place the forearms on the knees like this. Like I said, this is one of the main meditation postures that were taught initially in yoga. This is known as Vajrasan. Next, what you can do is you can interlock the fingers and hold both the feet together. Keep the spine straight and push the chin slightly up, and breathe in when you push the chin up. And now as you breathe out, try to bend at the hip joint without bending at the back, keeping the back as straight as possible. Try to bend at the hip joint and bring the forearms and elbows to the floor first. Once the forearms and elbows touch the floor, try to stretch further down and try to bring the chin and nose to the floor without bending the back too much. This will give a nice stretch to the hip joints. You can do this 2 to 3 times. And then you can put the hands below the knees, below the respective knees, and bring the knees together and then straighten the legs. So you're done with the preparatory practices. Now we can slowly move on to the actual practice of the lotus pose. So to do that, we first fold the right leg. We hold the foot and we twist the foot inwards and upwards and try to bring the heel to the center of the left thigh joint like this. We bring the right knee to the floor. Then initially you can do the easier version of the lotus pose, which is known as the half lotus pose or Ardha Padmasana, wherein you simply, instead of doing the full Padmasana, you simply take the left foot and you place it below the right knee instead of placing it above the right knee, which is the half lotus pose. Initially, when your body is not ready for the full lotus pose, you can do this. Once the body becomes more and more flexible, you can go for the ultimate lotus pose, the full lotus pose. And the way you're going to do that is you first place the left heel close to the right knee like this. Then you hold the left foot, you lift it up, and then you take the knee away from the center of the body first like this, and then fold the knee so that you have enough space to lift the foot up and place the left heel on the right thigh joint. Like I said, you first take the knee away from the center of the body like this, and then fold the knee and bring the left heel close to the right thigh joint like this, with the ankle twisted inwards and upwards. Now both the heels are touching the centers of the opposite thigh joints like this, and both the knees supposed to be on the floor. Initially, because of lack of flexibility, one of the knees will be up like this, but as the body gets more and more flexible, both the knees will touch the floor, and you'll see that the entire lower section of your body will be extremely stable. Both the legs will be properly stable. The entire lower section of the body along with the lower spine will be completely stable and completely relaxed. Then to relax the upper body, what you can do is you can place both the hands in something known as the Padma mudra, which is the symbol of the lotus, wherein you place the left wrist placed on the center of the body, on the shin at the center of the body like this, and then you place the right wrist joint on top of the left wrist joint like this. This is the symbol of the lotus, the Padma mudra. This will relax your hands completely, and it will keep the shoulders relaxed and stable, thereby stabilizing the upper body as well. So as you can see, this entire thing locks the lower section of the body as well as the upper section of the body, thereby giving you a nice strong base where you can simply sit still without having to worry about moving around or without feeling uncomfortable. Of course, initially you won't be comfortable in this posture. You need a certain level of flexibility and stability to reach so this level of comfort, but you will realize as the body becomes flexible, this is very, very comfortable and stable. Both the legs are locked, so the lower section as well the upper section of the body is completely locked and relaxed. Now this looks like any other lotus pose that you may have seen in the past. Most of the videos and depictions of the lotus pose, they appear like this, but there is a slight change. There is a minor detail that I need to talk about. In fact, that's the reason why I made this video, to talk about the minor details related to this posture. As you can see, in my case, I have placed both the heels close to the thigh joints, and my the shins of both my legs are pressing against each other. Now, most of the times when people do the Padmasana, when they do the lotus pose, they opt for an easier version wherein the heels don't go all the way up to the thigh joint. They simply twist inwards and upwards, and they simply place the back of the foot on the thighs like this. This is the easier version of Padmasana. This isn't as effective as the one that I was doing before, because over here you can see that both the shins are not pressing against each other, rather the ankles are crossed against each other like this. So this is actually a very simple version of Padmasana which is done by most of the people, but this is not the right way of doing it, and I'll tell you why. Because it is important that both the shins should press against each other, and also it is important that both the heels should press against the opposite thigh joints. And the reason is, there is a vein in the shin that gets pressed when you do it the way I am doing it now. Like when I do it the right way, like this, with the heel all the way up, with the heel all the way up to the thigh joint, what that does is it will press a certain vein in the shin, because over here you can see clearly that both my shins are pressing against each other properly, and it is also more stable. So this pressing of the vein in the shin and also pressing of the heels against the opposite thigh joint, what this does is it blocks the flow of blood towards the sex glands, the endocrine glands associated with your reproductive organs. Those glands, the blood flow towards those glands, the blood flow as well as neural flow towards those glands is completely blocked by this, and instead it is redirected upwards towards the upper endocrine glands. Now, why is this important? Because I have already spoken about the endocrine glands and their relationship with the psychic propensities of the human mind. This basically is triggering the higher psychic propensities associated with the higher endocrine glands. I have already made a video about psychic propensities and endocrine glands. You can check out the video in the description below. I have posted a link of that video in the description below. You can check that out so that you can understand about psychic propensities, and also this redirection or channelizing of blood flow and neural flow towards the upper endocrine glands is also done by the use of the Indian loin cloth. So this posture is done with the use of the Indian loin cloth. I have also posted a link of videos describing the Indian loin cloth in the description below. You can check that out as well. Please do check out these previous videos as they are related, they are all connected to this video. It will help you better understand what I'm talking about in this video. So like I said, I would like to repeat myself. This proper position of the shin and the heels will press certain veins that will block the flow of blood and will block the flow of neural energy towards the lower animalistic endocrine glands, thereby avoiding the triggering of lower psychic propensities, lower animalistic psychic propensities. Instead, it will redirect the blood flow and neural energy towards the upper endocrine glands, thereby triggering the higher psychic propensities of the human mind, which will be very conducive for meditation. And that is one of the reasons why this posture is very beneficial for meditation. It's one of the reasons why it is extremely conducive for meditation, because it is triggering the higher psychic propensities. Apart from that, this posture, along with the tantric version of Vajrasan, is doing a lot of good to the joints of your legs and your spine. I've already spoken about the benefits of this posture being a perfect complement to the tantric version of Vajrasan. You can check out that video as well. I have posted that video link in the description below as well. You can check that out. Please check out all those previous videos. They're all connected, they're all related to this video. And also, because this posture is supposed to be useful for meditation, it is important that the higher psychic propensities are triggered. And like I said, this is something that really helps in not only triggering the higher psychic propensities, also stimulating the higher endocrine glands, which is very important for meditation. Now, apart from that, you can also practice something known as the Khechari mudra, which is the tongue lock. The Khechari mudra, which is the tongue lock, as well as the partial chin lock, which is known as the Jalandhar bandh. The practice of these things, the Khechari mudra and Jalandhar bandh, will help in activating the cervical region of the body. I have made a video on Khechari mudra as well, so even that video link is in the description below. Please do check that out as well, so that you understand what I mean by Khechari mudra, the tongue lock, as well as the chin lock, which is the Jalandhar bandh. Do check out the video related to that as well. Together, this posture is extremely good for meditation and for the health of the body and the mind. That was Padmasana, the lotus pose. There are a lot of benefits of Padmasana apart from health benefits. Like I said, it helps in channelizing all the blood flow and neural flow towards the upper glands, instead of allowing it to pool around the glands of survival or reproduction. That way, the human body naturally has a tendency to trigger the higher propensities, higher psychic propensities of the human mind, instead of focusing on the lower animalistic propensities. So this posture helps in channelizing the energy, or rather the blood flow or the neural flow, towards those upper endocrine glands, thereby triggering the higher propensities. It's called vrittis in Sanskrit, in yoga. So the higher vrittis are stimulated, basically, or rather are triggered. So that is very conducive for meditation, and hence this posture is one of the main postures for meditation. Hope you all learned something new about the lotus pose through this video, and I'll see you next time in another video. I'll hopefully be making a video on meditation. I've already made videos describing, or rather giving introductions to asanas, which are the yogic postures, and also I've spoken about the basics of pranayam. So I'll also make a video on the basics of meditation. So this is it for now, and thanks for watching.